In this video, I'm going to talk about finding my day trading strategy. So my name is Tyler Stokes from StokesTrades.com. I'm on a journey to become a full-time day trader, and we are past the first phase of this journey where we studied a lot and we built a foundation, but now it's time to actually find a strategy to review. So if you'd like to download my 6-month blueprint that outlines everything that I've done in the first 6 months of this journey, you can find a link to that below this video. And once you have gone through that blueprint, if you're following along, it's going to be time to actually now find a strategy. So, every trader, whether you're a beginner or any sort of position that you're in, you're going to either need a strong foundation, or if you're experienced, then you would have already had a good foundation before you jumped into an actual strategy and actually making trades. But once you've built that foundation, then it becomes time to focus now on a strategy that simplifies your trading and brings you closer to actually being successful with trading. So you're going to get to a stage where you've studied the basics, and now you're going to ask yourself, now what? So in this video, I'm going to share how I've transitioned from a beginner building on a foundation of knowledge into actually studying a strategy. Now, I would recommend that you download that blueprint. And what that has allowed me to do in the first 6 months of this journey is really focus on building a solid foundation for becoming a day trader. So for pure beginners, if you're a pure beginner, as I was a pure beginner at the beginning of 2024, what this meant is that, I studied some basics about the stock market, stocks in general. I set up a brokerage account. I learned how to buy and sell every type of stock order. And then I gained an understanding of options, and I studied some technical analysis. So if we just kind of jumped over to the 6-month blueprint, again, you can download this below this video. It's 100% free. And basically this blueprint has outlined everything that I've done in the first 6 months. So the 6-month blueprint here, I'm just going to quickly go through it, but I've got a section on all the resources that I've used, audiobooks and tools that I'm using. And then step one was to go over some stock market basics. So again, what are stocks, what are bonds? These are all clickable links that will take you to articles and videos about these topics. So basically, I got a good understanding of the basics. And then it was time to choose a broker. And I've got in the blueprint here, you can find guides on choosing a broker, setting up a paper trading account, and some tutorials about interactive brokers. That's the broker that I will be using. And then also different types of stock market order types. And then I did study options. So I've got a good base of knowledge about options that you can check out here in the blueprint. And then importantly, for everyone is going to be technical analysis. So I've got guides on, technical analysis versus fundamental analysis, trends, support and resistance. These are big, important topics, important indicators that are used. And then we do have this updated resource page. So this page is actually going to be great because I will update this constantly. It has some resources and tools, and then all the way down, I keep adding all the different topics that I continue to study when it comes to technical analysis. So this is like a good, real good content hub page about technical analysis. So Fibonacci retracements, the Ichimoku cloud, Bollinger Bands, these were not included in the blueprint because these are topics that I learned and studied after the blueprint was published. But that blueprint, again, I would recommend that you consider downloading it because it'll get you to a stage where you have a good base of knowledge, and then it's time to move on to actually studying a strategy. So I would recommend that you download that, and it's absolutely free. Now, I would recommend that you consider being careful with avoiding analysis paralysis. So one challenge that I sort of faced after completing that first 6 months was analysis paralysis. I didn't want to rush into a strategy without kind of feeling confident in my understanding of technical analysis, but I also sort of didn't want to get bogged down in endless study. There are so many things in terms of technical analysis that you can go on and study every single tool. You will become a master in every indicator. But when you actually start trading a strategy, that's probably not going to be very useful. So for me, I sort of just wanted to get a good base on some indicators like the Ichimoku cloud, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci retracements. And that was important for me to take a bit of extra time and review those before jumping into, this quote unquote season 2 and studying a strategy. So not every strategy will rely on many of the things that you study with technical analysis, but even just getting an introductory level on many of them, I think is important. And I'm glad I sort of spent the extra time studying technical analysis. So again, the blueprint is going to have a resource page that will give you all the information about many of these topics. And again, that blueprint should be used as a roadmap for your first 6 months or your first phase of learning how to become a day trader. And there are certain topics that you might need to venture out and study more on your own. Now, when it comes to transitioning to a strategy, this is where a challenge, will sort of begin. You might, know how to analyze charts. You're going to know how to identify support and resistance level and draw trend lines. But, what do you actually do with that information? How do you turn chart analysis into actionable trades that you can take? So in this, season 2 of this journey, it's about finding strategies that work. And I'm going to start with the strategy from the Real Day Trading Reddit group. So below this video, there's going to be a link. You can just go to the Real Day Trading Reddit group. And basically they have this thing called the wiki, which is their sort of strategy guide. And it's 100% free. It's a very large document. I'm in the process of studying it now. And if you come here and just search maybe PDF, you can find an updated link. So at the time of recording this, someone created a May 2024 update. So you can download the entire wiki there. And that is what I've done. And that is what I'm currently studying. So that is what strategy I'm going to start with. So when it comes to strategy, studying a strategy is going to be important for you this next phase because you're going to basically focus on some specific tools, specific techniques that work for a specific method. Now, some strategies are going to rely on technical indicators heavily. Other strategies might actually dismiss them altogether. So for example, the wiki actually doesn't use a lot of the strategies that I studied, but that's okay. I might be able to combine them with my own strategy, or I'll be able to use them if I move on to some other strategy. But it's important to remember, certain strategies, certain traders tend to contradict each other with their strategies and their feelings on what works and what doesn't. Now, I'm also planning to study another strategy, and I'm going to talk about that more in the next video. But there always comes up this question on, free versus paid resources, and what should you choose? Should you register and follow a mentor or buy a course and so on? So I get that question a lot, and I've asked it myself as well. But in the beginning, I was sort of adamant that you as a beginner and me as a beginner, you shouldn't need to buy courses when you're just starting out, because you really need to build a solid foundation. And that's what I've done over the first 6 months of this journey. And there are plenty of resources out there where you can do this for free, or you can do this on YouTube. Again, in the blueprint, I share all the resources that I currently use. And the only thing I really did was buy a few textbooks. But there may come a time when it comes to strategy that you might want to invest in a mentor or a program or someone's, system. Again, I'm currently studying the wiki, and that's free, but I'm also considering this trader called The Great Matsby, and I've actually bought his course. I'm going to talk more about it in the next few videos. He has a course that's basically about technical analysis, but you also might come across a trader or someone online that you trust. Maybe you watch them for several months trading, and maybe you want to gain more knowledge from them, and that might require you to sign up for a course or a program. So I think that's just something that is you might need to do. You're going to get to a stage where you have a good knowledge base, but how do you actually study a strategy? Sometimes you might need to pay for that education, and I don't think that's necessarily wrong. It's just sort of the way it is. So again, moving forward with this journey, I'm studying the wiki that's free, but I am not opposed to other strategies, studying them potentially in the future if people charge for a course or a mentorship, if I really feel that I do trust them. You need to be careful because unfortunately in the make money online niches, specifically day trading and other niches like this, there's always going to be people selling courses that maybe they don't really uh, trade successfully. They just kind of teach, and you maybe should probably avoid those types of people. But there are also obviously some good mentors and good courses out there. So just something to keep in mind in terms of free and paid mentorships that are available. And again, I'm going to reveal anything that I buy or any course that I purchase, and I will be doing that in the next few videos and episodes. So the right mindset is really something to consider as well, and something that I had to consider balancing, speed and realism. And we'll just wrap it up with this thought. But one thing that I had to really come to terms with is balancing my desire to move quickly with the reality of my current commitment. So I would have liked to, learn a strategy right away, but I needed to spend the time to learn the basics. And, I've got a busy schedule. And I'm just not able to study for hours and hours every single week. So I sort of accepted a steady progress and a slower pace, but staying really consistent. And successful traders, they often say it takes years to master the market. So I'm certainly not rushing. I'm going to stay consistent. I'm certainly not going to be complacent, but I understand that I'm just not going to do this quickly. And you might be in that same position as well. You might have a 9-to-5 job, or you might have other commitments. I just know that, staying consistent is key, and you don't need to rush, and you don't need to become a full-time day trader in 6 months. It's probably unrealistic for most people. So I think we'll leave it at that. If you've not joined our free community on Skool, you can find links to that as well, where you can connect with someone or connect with the group and stay accountable and share what you're doing every week. That's going to help you stay consistent. And then in the next few episodes of the podcast and videos, I'm going to talk more about what this specific strategy is all about, what the edge of this strategy is. And then I'm also going to talk about the other course from the great Matsby that I purchased, and talk more about his strategy and how I might use that moving forward. So I hope that you found this useful. Subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to documenting more of my journey on this section where I am studying a specific strategy. So we'll talk to you in the next video.